webinar on Changing the Way You Think, organized by the Department of Business Administration, MLR Institute of Technology, in association with Zillion Cube's Learning Foundation. It's my privilege to introduce today's resource person, Mr. Rajkumar Nataraj, the founder and CEO of Aasheha Technology Services Private Limited, Bengaluru. Mr. Rajkumar is basically a learning architect, a trainer, UI and UX designer, simulation-based learning and gamification specialist. He has more than 17 years of experience and holds multiple certifications from global leaders like SAP, Oracle, KNDA, IDF, and of course, Google. His experience spreads through a wide range of profitable activities like analysis, design, development, and delivery of training, performance support, enablement for enterprise system deployments, and many more. We are fortunate enough today to have with us such an enthusiastic personality who has conquered innovative trends in learning technologies. So without wasting much time, I now would like to welcome Mr. Rajkumar Nataraj to enlighten the participants in today's faculty development program on instructional design. Sir, the session is all yours. Please take over. Nataraj, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Please take over the session.
Hello.
Am I
Yes, ma'am.
audible?
Yeah.
Yes, your voice is audible, Raj. Go ahead.
Is anyone confirm? Okay, thanks, Pati. Yeah. Okay. Good morning, all. Thanks a lot for this wonderful opportunity to meet you on this pandemic time. So I hereby thank Mr. Triloku Sundaram, who has been following up with us for a long time to handle this session. So, and he has organized this session with our team. So thank you, sir, for your wonderful effort, bringing all of us together and conducting this 4 days international webinar online. So this session, I am sure this session is going to open eyes to a lot of people in various areas. Last 2 days was on student development program, and today and tomorrow would be a faculty development program. And we are here to share our knowledge and our insights so that our faculty fraternities can take it forward for this e-learning era. So as we all know, e-learning is emerging today because of the situation we are in today, and it's the need for the hour. And at this time, we are here to share our knowledge with you so that you all can use the insights and the experience which we have, so that you can produce very engaging content and very engaging and very interactive content to the students. I know e-learning is not that easy. E-learning is such a difficult task when it comes to when it comes to implementing the education online. But there are few steps which we can follow so that e-learning can be quicker, and you can also save a lot of time, because e-learning can scale up to any level based upon the audience. So you can actually reach out to many people at a time, or various times, as and when people are free, they can use the content. So you have the flexibility of engaging people at various hours. Just not you just not have to be there physically or mentally. So that's where e-learning plays a big role. So we will discuss a lot of things today. To be back, I'm very happy to be in this session, And thanks to Mari Lakshman Reddy Institute of Technology, Hyderabad, and the faculty members present here, and the team Zillion Cubes, and the other fraternities who have joined us to place the um, sessions. Thanks a lot. Okay. At any time, whenever you have any question, you can come back to me in the middle of the session. I can answer it later. My team will actually populate the questions to me, so I can answer it later. And also, we will have a question and answer session at end of the webinar, so that you can post your questions on YouTube chat box. So I would be able to answer all your questions. Okay, so the today's topic is on instructional designing. So we all know what is e-learning, because we all are using today a lot of e-learning services. But why instructional design is important? Because without instructional design, any e-learning will become incomplete, and mostly uh, uh, it won't be a rational service. So that's the reason we use instructional designing in e-learning platforms, so that the content, the outcome of the content would be very engaging and very um, interactive to the students, and it will keep them engaged and motivated, so that the retention of knowledge would be more. So that's the main important factor here. So we will go through instructional design, and also we will go through how to establish teaching method through technology, so that you can assess your audience, because assessing your audience, assessing your students, that is very, very important. Without that, we will not know what is their retention of knowledge. So as when you finish off any class, and if the students retain as much as information that you have shared with them, that's when your true happiness starts. So that's an important factor here. So you have to make sure that the students retain their knowledge. Yeah. So just give me a moment. That's a small noise, so I'm just switching off my fan. Yep. So I'm ready back. So how do you present an e-learning course with instructional design in part, so that you can assess your audience? That's the whole structure of the webinar today. We will be looking at what is instructional design, and how do you know your audience before you start building up your content, and how to separate the need to know and the nice to know factors, because there are two different things. Always good to know a lot of things, but what are all the need to know factors and what are all the nice to know factors? So based on that, you can build up your content and then give them an engaging content. And so what is the basic course structure that you can follow to build up a course? And so what are the importance of instructional design? And at the end, we will also look into the assessment factor. How do you assess your people? Yeah, how do you assess your students? So we will also look into this. Okay. What is instructional designing? Creating a e-learning module, creating an e-learning module with a lot of experience built into it. It's just not easy to explain something to your students without sharing your experience. So always explain anything with your experience. That is what is most important factor when it comes to in education. So we all know. So the theory based education will slowly get emerged into a practical based education when the education level increases. For example, if they're in classrooms, and if they are K-12 students, that maybe up to 12th grade, they would be mostly concentrating on theoretical knowledge. So even then, for students like science students or botany students or any other engineering based physics or chemistry, so these students, they would have a more practical exposure than an arts and science student, than an arts student, because arts is mostly into theoretical aspect, but engineering is mostly into a practical aspect. So when you see at the labs, mostly labs are for chemistry, physics, botany, or zoology. But when it comes to any arts kind of uh, courses like history, geography, or even for English, Tamil, we don't have much labs. But it's very important for us to give practical exposure on English, Tamil, or history or geography, because that's very, very important for students to know. We all know archaeological department, mostly people who are interested in history, they would get into archaeology. So how do you give them a practical exposure? Because here everything is knowledge. It's not something, you cannot actually dig a stone and then show it to them, because if they are getting into archaeology, but you need to show them something so that they can understand. So give them experiences. That's what I'm saying. Give them experiences for these kind of courses. Share your experiences, share scenarios, share something which is happening real time. So what would they get into it when they, what would they see, what would they face when they get into a job? For example, if a HR student is there and if he wants to understand something practically, put them on a role play. So these are all very, very important. Maybe you can put them on a role play, or you can share your experience with them, or you can share a case study of certain corporates with them, so that it will add more knowledge to their kitty. So for example, in corporate context, when we build e-learning courses, so we build e-learning courses with a lot of, with a lot of experiences into it. Yeah. For example, when I was into a call center, so I had a trainer. So this trainer is not exactly a trainer who just know a theoretical knowledge. This trainer, he knows everything happens in the job flow. So whatever happens in the workflow, he knows it. So he gives me that experience. So what he does is he will put it very sequentially. So what would I get into from the first day, or what would I face on the second day, or what would I face on the first call, or what would I face on the first irated customer? So everything he will stack it sequentially, and then he will share it with me. So this is very important for me when I get ready for a job flow, because when I get into a job flow, nothing which is theoretical will help me, which is only experience will help me. So I had a customer who was jumping on me and who was creating a lot of because the problem was not solved for last 6 months. So he is an irate customer. How did I solve? So what measures did I take to solve? On the first day, I was not an expert to solve that issue, but on 10th day, I became a intermediate kind of person, so I could actually solve it 50%, then hand it over to my manager 50%. Yeah. So when it became 3 months, I was almost 90%. I was able to solve all the issues. So how did I emerge? How did I transform? So that transformation is the experience from my trainer. So by sharing such an experience to me, it helped me understand how to handle a customer. If just explaining it to me on a theoretical basis, what is customer? What are the problems? How do you solve customers? How do you solve customers' problems? And how do you handle irate customers? So this is something only theoretical. But when he shares something experiential, then that is going to help me. So that's the experiential learning, which is very, very important. So this experiential learning, you can put it along with the instructional designing and then give it to them. Yeah. So before we get into instructional design, So I just want to show you one video where I can play this video and show it to you how this video was built in. Let me see if the video plays, or else I will see how to get it play. Just you have to tell me if the video is audible or not. Yeah, let me see. Okay, so just downloading. So let the video get downloaded. Meantime, I can actually explain you why am I showing this video. Yeah. So this is a video which we built for a company. It's an actually it's an ISO standard company. So they jointly signed up an agreement with Indian government. Now they have to train up or they have to create awareness to the people in the rural India. How do they use solar energy and why should they use solar energy? By using solar energy, what can happen? And also, what are all the instructions they have to follow when they use a solar energy? So this is the concept of the course. So we were to develop something on this platform. So how to use this solar energy? There is something called Surya Mitra project in central government. So for this project, we developed this course so that they can get trained and then they can get aware. They can get awareness on Surya Mitra project, and then people can start implementing Surya Mitra according to their usage. So this is what is the main motto of the course. So for this, we wanted to show them an introductory video. So we have to explain them what is solar energy, so that they can understand what is solar energy, and then they can see they can actually understand solar energy by a video. But before the video, we had to develop something so that it comes out very good. So the video has to be a graphical presentation. Yeah, the video has to be graphical presentation. So I need to develop a storyboard to show a video, and then the video would be having a voiceover, and then it comes out as a training video. Yeah. For example, this is a storyboard. I will just come out of my. I will show you. Okay. So this is a storyboard, so which we built it in 2016 for you say, but even today the story is very inquisitive, and it is also very interactive with the people. So it engages a lot of people even today because the storyboard was such strong storyboard. For example, this is how a storyboard is built using instructional designing. Why am I showing in the beginning of the class? So that beginning of the webinar, so that you can understand what's happening behind instructional designing. So that's the reason I'm showing it today to you. Here, the video, the first screen goes like, the video opens with a black screen. Then a pinpoint of light appears in the center of the screen. It emerges and it explodes. This is nothing but sun. Yeah. And we also have slide notes here. I will show you. Then the energy transforms. Yeah. So the energy transforms. How? So this is the animation instructions which was given by the instructional designer to the graphic designer. So when you build an e-learning course, there are a lot of people involved in an e-learning course. Okay. Like an SME, subject matter expert like you, faculty members, an instructional designer who is a screenplay writer or a storyboard writer. Then comes a graphical designer and e-learning developer who actually transforms the idea of instructional designer into an e-learning module. Then it will be implemented on LMS. So LMS person would be there and it would go to students. So this is how it is. If I have to relate it to any other industry, the best industry to relate it to is movies. Yeah. So how a movie is made? There is a novel writer. So novel writer is nothing but an SME. SME is nothing but a story writer who has written a story. And you cannot just transform a story directly into a movie. Any new movies, for example, if there is a autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi is there, and you cannot just transform the book into a movie directly. You need to add some cinematic content to it. That is where the screenplay comes into picture. So what a screenplay writer do? So he will take the story, the raw story, and then he will put it in a sequential order, and he will make a cinematic feel so that the screenplay is good. So if the screenplay is not good, the movie would not go well. So in theaters, if my audience have to sit for 2.5 hours or 2 hours 45 minutes, or even for 1 hour 45 minutes, the story has to be presented in such a way. It has to engage the people for 1 hour 45 minutes. Otherwise, people would watch for 1 hour. By interval, most of the people go out. That is not what a story director, movie director would want to know, want to see. And the same goes to our faculty members. If you are building up a course by putting all your all hard-earned knowledge and experience, you want your students to sit till end of the course in the edge of the seat, and then as much as information that you say, and then he should retain it so that he can put it when he can apply the knowledge and skills when he goes to a job or a job interview. So this is what most of you would want to know or would want to see. Yeah. So the same goes here. So if a movie has to come out successful, screenplay has to be successful. Once the screenplay is done, then comes people. Yeah. The director, the choreographer, yes, the stunt director, the CGI person, the visual graphic person, and the lyricist, the music director, and the actors. So everyone will be there. So each and everyone have to perform according to the screenplay which was written. So the dialogues would be shared with all the casting people. So all the actors would have the dialogues. So they have to memorize the dialogue and they have to give the emotion the dialogue needs. So all these things are needed. So here comes a lot of activities, right? So all these people put together, they need to sit with the same screenplay, and then they have to work according to the screenplay, and then they come out. That is what a storyboard writer does. So the instructional designer gives instructions on a storyboard, like the word energy appears on the screen in a backward zoom as a cutout on a dark blue background, like we are moving backwards, and as we move backwards, we are moving through the cutout of the word energy, where it becomes a window into the scene behind. So the complete thing is the energy has to zoom out, and then it has to show me that the energy is nothing but the solar. So that is what I need to explain. If you see scene by scene, this is how a pinpoint emerges as a big circle, bright light, then comes as energy. From bright light, I would see energy. The energy goes out, goes out, goes out, and then it becomes sun. Yes? So the pinpoint becomes sun, and the pinpoint becomes sun, and you see a lot of green field there, and there comes various energy factors like windmill, wind farm, coal, minerals, water. Yeah, if you see here, these are all energy factors: steam, firewood. So every scene has been explained by the instructional designer here. So the graphical designer, the e-learning developer, he knows what exactly the instructional designer is looking after. So based on this, he would develop an animation picture. So that's what is very, very important. If the instructional designer doesn't put all his thoughts on the slides, each and every slide. So this is actually a 3 minutes, I guess 3 minutes video. And there are 39 slides for this 3 minutes video. Okay. There are 39 slides for this 3 minutes video. And every that animation movie, and then he can put together, and then he can get the output done. So this is where instructional designer lies. Instructors. So you all are lecturers, right? So what you would want to you and you instruct to the students, and you want to students to interpret according to their understanding, and you want them to apply it on their real life scenarios, and then come out as a successful, right? So this is what you want them to do. So when you are relating everything, it's nothing but you are a creator. So you are the ideology for creators. So they yourself, and then reason. So you need to share, communicate your ideologies to people in such a manner so that they can put it very valuably, and then they can actually emerge in their life as a successful people. So this is why it's very important. Yeah. It's getting downloaded. I will show it to you, the animation movie. So meantime, we will get back to our instructional designing PPT. Yeah. So this is what instructional design is all about. Yeah. So you need to share your experiences and your skills and your knowledge, everything to the people through a mode of learning. Through that mode of learning, you need to share all these knowledges, right? So when you are sharing everything through a mode of learning, that is what an e-learning is there. And if you do it with a lot of real life scenarios or real life stories into it, that is why that is what an instructional designer can do. Yeah. So normally instructional designers follow a lot of various methods, but the most prominent method is ADDIE model. So ADDIE model is used to develop an e-learning course. So what you do is, first you have to analyze the need for the course or need for the e-learning module. If your head of the department calls you and then asks you to develop a module on so and so topic, maybe like an accounting topic, introduction to accountancy, or introduction to management, or introduction to marketing, or introduction to mathematics or calculus, or introduction to anything like chemistry, any chemistry, organic chemistry, or any physics, any module for the say, trigonometry, any module for the say, you need to analyze why I should develop this module. So what is the reason behind developing this module, right? So without that motto, you would not be able to design it to the audience according to their needs. Okay, so I'm a director. You have noticed a lot of people, a lot of directors. Every director have their own style of movie making, right? Every director would be having their own style of movie making. Every director would be very popular in certain class of people. If you see, the movie viewing industry is actually divided into various classes like A, B, C. It's not discriminating, but this is how the market has been divided. So A center, B center, C center. So A center movies would be more what to say. How do I define? It won't be mass movies. It would be class movies like Interstellar or Gravity. So people who know the subject would watch the movie. But C center movies, anyone can watch the movie. It's like if someone knows the subject or someone doesn't know the subject, they can watch the movie. B center is different. B center is something in between both. It has a lot of sci-fi or a lot of highly intellectual knowledge, and also some kind of mass knowledge. If you see a director like Shankar, he is actually a B center guy. He would have A center content in it and also a C center content in it. If you see a Robo, the movie which was made with Rajnikant, yes, it had both the factors in it. So you would know what is science, and also you would see a lot of mass activities there, like fight sequences or song sequences or comedy lines anything. So it would have both the factors in it. So now this particular movie can be ran through A, B, C. Why I was referring to this is, when you build any e-learning course, you should analyze whom this course is going to get delivered to. Yeah. So that is the reason you need to that is the reason I was explaining the ABC centers. So you need to know the audience. So in order to know the audience, you need to analyze the course, analyze the need for the course, and then you design according to the need. If there is no analysis and then you don't know what is the need, you won't be able to design a course according to the need. Then the course would be something and the need would be something. So to the match the need, you need to analyze in the beginning itself. So once you design the course, you would develop what to say? You would develop an e-learning module. After developing an e-learning module, you would implement the e-learning module in certain channels like LMS. You can put it on an LMS, or you can put it as a YouTube video, or you can put in any form of e-learning channel. So once you do that, you would evaluate. So yeah, and YouTube content cannot be evaluated in a larger aspect, but an LMS content can be evaluated in a large aspect. Maybe YouTube content can be evaluated through your comments, yeah, but the comments cannot be the tracking the comments cannot be so very easy. But evaluating it through any examination modules, online examination module or online learning management system is easy. So that's why you need to understand the need. If you don't know, who are you going to uh, um, who are you going to publish this content, you would not build up the content in the beginning itself. So if you know this course is going to be a YouTube channel course, or this course is going to be LMS channel, according to that you can develop, and then implement it according to the need. So that's why the ADDIE model is very important. Yeah. Okay. Now I would want to show you this video. This is the video which got transformed from the PPT slide which I have shown you. That is a storyboard. Yeah. So I guess now you know how the PPT, the small concept of explaining solar energy, has transformed into a storyboard in a PPT. From there, it has come out as an animated video for 3 minutes, right? So this is what. So it's a one-line concept as explaining solar energy, and it come out as a 39 slides storyboard, and it came out as a 3 minute 24 odd seconds video. So this is what an instructional design can do. So if you can take any concept and put all your thoughts and your resources together, your experiences together, it would be easy for you to take it out as a big e-learning module, so that it will help people in understanding it in a very simplest way. Because there are certain things can be explained in a very simplest way. Instead, it was explained as we have been explaining it in a very hard way. So this is why instructional designing is very, very important in e-learning prospect. Yeah. So now, how do you know your audience? So there are various ways so that you can understand your audience. Yeah. First, you need to know who your learners are, whether they are basic intermediary people, or just a naive guys who doesn't know any subject or anything about the particular subject. What are they? So are they a first year kind of student, or are they a second year people, or third year people, or a doctorate scholars? What are they? So who are your learners? According to the learners, you need to start building your content. So what are their needs? Okay, if my learner is X, and what does he want out of this course? Will he want something big out of this course, or something basic out of this course, or what is that he need from my course? So on that, you need to build up your content, so you can stack up needed components there. So are they computer savvy? So will they be able to use computers? If they don't know how to use computers, then you need to give them a navigational guidelines. How do they navigate your e-learning modules? That is very, very important. You have everything in front of them, but they don't know how to use it. That is something is very unlucky, and they won't be able to use this course, and they don't understand the concept of it, and you won't be able to get the feedback out from the course, because nobody have understood how to use the course. So how good are they? And if not, you need to handhold them and then tell them, boss, next step is this, and the next step is this, and this is how you do the each sections, and this is how you finish off your course, and this is how an assessment is taken. So everything has to be explained to them. And how much do they already know? For example, if you're writing a course to a third year student, but if you're keeping the content is very basic, it doesn't add value to them. So our e-learning module has to add value to each and every one. So without knowing that, you won't be able to build up an e-learning module. So that is very important. So what is that you will do, and how do you fill the gap? Okay. For my thing, for my experience, filling the gap is nothing but sharing your knowledge. Yes. So there is a book, there is a person, and in between you are there. So you are going to add your knowledge to fill the gap. So you are the bridge between the book and the student. So when you are the bridge between the student and the book, then you need to add a lot of experience to it, a lot of real life scenarios to it, so that they can understand in a better way. Now you need to separate what is need to know and nice to know, because in an e-learning module you cannot explain everything. You need to leave certain things for their research. Yes, they have to do self-learning activities, but you need to be there wherever it is a need to know aspects. Like there are 10 points to know, but there are 8 points that are need to know. There are 2 points that are nice to know. So nice to know is optional. So leave it to the students on their research activity, and give the need to know aspect more to them. Yes. So you need to understand, is this a critical point? And will the learners ever need to know to do this to do their job? If not, not necessary to cover it today. They can learn it when and whenever they have leisure time. And if they don't know this, what would be the impact? Yeah. And by doing this, you can identify the needs. Okay. So once you identify the needs, there is no stopping. So they can easily, you can easily build up the course, because you are eliminating the nice to know points. So you are saving a lot of time there to concentrate more on the need to know, right? So how a basic course structure have to be? So you can actually use this on your classroom training as well, and also in an e-learning course as well. Yeah. So in an e-learning course, if you get into the point, get into the subject directly, the students will not be able to connect with the e-learning module in a larger aspect. Excuse me. So in a larger aspect, if you want them to get connected to the e-learning modules, what you need to do is you need to have an introductory part of the course wherein you need to give them uh, a welcome message of this course and the instructions to be followed to complete the course successfully. Yeah. Why instructions? I said, are they computer savvy? If they're not computer savvy, you need to show them navigation. How do you navigate your course? There are a lot of ways you can navigate your course, right? So where is the menu button available, and where is the glossaries available? Where are the resources available? And where, if you have a dictionary, you can actually show them a dictionary as well. And how do you access a menu? And you can tell them after finishing each and every chapter, then only you would be able to move on to the next chapter, because you cannot advance the next chapter without completing the first chapter. So you can actually give them a control. You can tell them this is how it is controlled. So when they know it, then they don't waste much of time in navigating. So what they will do is they will just follow. And after each and every slide done, or after each and every lesson done, you can tell them that, okay, go to the next page by clicking this button, or go to the next page by clicking that button. So this would be very, very easy for them to follow through. Yeah. So next is the introduction and objectives. Yeah. So introduction and objectives. Why? Because what is this course about, and what are you going to understand? So the learning objective is very, very important. So each and every module has to have its own learning objectives. What do they take home at the end of this course? What's in it for them to take to home? So that is very, very important. The next is content. So now comes the table of contents. So you can actually tell them, this is what I'm going to cover. So I'm going to cover 1, 2, 3, 4. So everything. After that, you can put all the contents in a chapter wise or a lesson wise modules, as I have shown you in the beginning. One second, sorry. So you can tell them, so each and every chapter you're going to understand so certain things. So you can put them in front of them so that they would know the course path. So once they know the course path, they would plan accordingly. So if there are 10 days to complete the course, and if they know any of this particular chapter very well, what they can do is they can spend less time in the chapter, and then they can move on to the chapter which they won't understand, they didn't understand in their classroom activities. So you can give them a flexibility of learning, because e-learning gives a lot of flexibility to students to focus what they would want to do. Yeah. For example, what I'm saying is, for example, if I am into a training room and I have 10 people in front of me, 10 different people, right? 10 different people know 10 different things, and I don't know who knows what. So I have prepared a curriculum on a very on averaging all their knowledges, and I have prepared a curriculum on a basic structure. So I don't know what each and every person do, and I don't create a curriculum for everyone individually. So what I'm giving in front of them is, boss, this is in front of you, this is the course. What you can do is, if you know chapter 1, please skip and then go to chapter 2. Take an assessment and you understand whether you know or not. If you know it, you'd go to chapter 2. So I'm giving you time. So with this time, what he is going to do is, he is going to spend more time on the difficult chapter which he doesn't understand. One student will understand chapter 1 in a better way, other students would have understood chapter 2 in a better way. So now I'm going to give them flexibility to concentrate on what topic they don't understand, so that they can spend more time on that particular topics. So this is the flexibility I'm giving it in e-learning. So that is very, very important. In a classroom, you won't be able to give such a flexibility, because you have to cover all 30 students, or the whole classroom the day which is given to you, and then you need to cover the topic. Whether a student knows it or doesn't know, he won't be paying. If he knows it, he won't be paying much attention to it. And if he doesn't know it, he will be asking more questions, and then the other student will just have to wait until this particular chapter is completed. So this is something that you can eradicate with an e-learning module, right? So then comes the assessment. Why assessment? Because assessment is very, very important in any training, whether it is an instructor-led classroom training or online training. Without assessments, you don't know the feedback. So feedback is very, very important to improve your e-learning modules or improve your classroom modules. Even a curriculum, if there is no feedback, you would not be reinforcing your curriculums, right? So to reinforce your curriculums or reinforce your e-learning modules, what you have to do is you need to understand what your students have gone through and what is their understanding. So with that inputs, you would be able to modify your courses for the next set of people. So that is why assessment and feedback is very, very important. Then comes the summary. So again, in this summary, as your classroom summary, you can give them, right? In this course, you have understood so and so aspects. So this is what your take home knowledge. So just put the summary points in your mind so that you will not forget it later. And also you can give your resources, right? As you all know, resources are very, very important. That's why I said you need to give your students certain space so that they can research and understand a lot of topics. You should not just put them into your classrooms. You should give them more options so that they can go out of the classrooms and gain more knowledge. So that's very, very important. Once you give them resources, these students will have their own time, and their time is not wasted on anything else. So they will put their knowledge into it, and then they will understand with the resources whether their knowledge is right or wrong. So that's very, very important. So share more resources with them. Maybe a research article or case studies or assignments or infographics, anything which supports the topic, that is very, very important. So give it to them so they will understand it in a better way. So why an instructional designer is important? So any e-learning module, or if you can actually put the instructional designer on your classroom training as well. So if for example, I had a school teacher, I had come across so many teachers after that or after him and before him. This particular person has explained any subject or any topic in such a way. Even today, I remember his face and I remember the class activities which he has done to me, because he has done a lot of preparation before his classes. That's what happens, because even today there are a lot of lecturers, and every lecturer will have their own style of teaching students. Somebody will teach it directly from the books, or somebody will not even touch the book and then they will speak it out. So this is actually preparation. So you prepare before your classes so that your class activities would be so very memorized to the student, so that he would even remember after so many years, and then he will remember this class activities. So that's very, very important. That's why instructional designer is important. Instructional design is more than just an information dump. So you're not just dumping the information, you are telling him a story kind of thing, because it's a story, so that when you tell anything with a story, it is memorized in us. Because the moral of the story is very, very important. So keep that one line moral of the story and build up a storyline and then give it to them, so they will remember. So even today we know the slow wins, the slow and steady wins the race, because of the tortoise and hare story, right? So we can imaginize our thoughts, and then we can understand, and if so many things are coming into mind, and then at the end of the day, my storyline is slow and steady wins the race. So this particular one-liner has been explained to us in a big story. So the instructional designing have been there from decades or from our ancestors, right? So take that aspect. The instructional designer has clear goals and get your learners focused on right things. So you set a goal and you put your learners to focus on the right things. That is very, very important for an instructional designer. So instructional design provides context and perspective. So perspective is very, very important. So you may put a context, like you may put a science concept there or an accountancy concept there, but what is the perspective of that context? Right? So you are putting in accountancy principle, like the three golden rules of the accountancy, and you are putting it as in a perspective. Like to begin any accountancy transaction, these three golden rules are very, very important. So you are putting the context into the perspective so that the students will understand in a better way. So instructional design compresses the learning process and saves time. So you would, that's why I said need to know and nice to know. So you will understand the critical things, and then you would know what are all the critical factors to be taught in this course, so that you compress the e-learning module, and then you save a lot of time for yourself and for your students as well. So instructional design engages learners with clear and meaningful content. You can add a lot of funful activities here, or videos here, or interactivities here, or assessments here, and drag and drop activities here, so that your students would be very interactive, and then they would get engaged, and that they will get involved into this particular course, and then they would have a lot of retention of knowledge. So the retention of knowledge is very, very important for any learning module, whether it is a classroom module or an online module. So that is very, very important. Yeah. So we use a lot of authoring tools. Yeah. So these are the authoring tools which are mostly widely used, because authoring tools are used to build up e-learning modules in a faster pace, quicker pace. So these two tools are called as rapid authoring tools. The reason behind calling it as a rapid authoring tool is these tools can be used to build up the e-learning modules in a quicker pace. Yeah. But these are all paid versions. So I am also having a couple of open source tools for you. So these are all open source tools for you all. So these are all open learning, course path, course lab, and H5P. H5P can be used for any examination modules or content explanation modules, and it can be built up with Moodle and WordPress. Course lab is a tool, authoring tool itself. Course path and open learning is also an authoring tool itself. These are all free to use and open source tools, and you can use these tools to build your e-learning content. Yeah, so these are the tools which you can use. And to go back, I just want to, now I wanted to show you the e-learning content which I was showing it you earlier, and also the storyboard. I just want to compare both of this so that you will understand a bit more. Just reiterating the things. So this is the black screen. This is the black screen. I'm going frame by frame. So this is the dot, the pinpoint which is exploding. Yeah. So you can see. So every point has been used here to build up the module. So here you can see energy. So energy is going backwards, and then it is zooming out, and it is becoming as a sun here. So it is asked to convert it as a sun. Yeah. Here, each and every slide is based on the instruction given by the instructional designer. That's why the instructional designer's role is very, very important. He is nothing but a screenplay writer. Without screenplay, any story would not become a famous movie, so successful movie. So that's very, very important. So this is all what I wanted to share it with you. If there is any questions, um, please go ahead. I would open up the YouTube window now so that I can answer your questions. So, any questions on Google Meet? Also, welcome. So, meantime, I will open the Zillion Cubes. Oh, sorry.
So faculties, you can put forward your questions. You can put your questions on the YouTube chat box so that it will be answered. So kindly put your questions over there. Raj, there is a question.
Okay. I guess that's a feedback.
Yes, Raj, yeah.
Any questions? Come on. This is actually very, very important at today's aspect. So if you have any questions, you can clear it out now. Or else if you still have any questions and later part, you can actually put it on the chat box or comment box. I'd be very happy to respond to you all. And Pati, if there is no questions, I guess, okay. There is a question from Trilogar Sundaram sir. So how instructional design helpful to outcome based education? Yes, sir. So outcome is nothing but I was explaining the feedbacks. So, so once you know the feedbacks, um, then then your course outcome can be measured, right? So with instructional designing, what you would do is you would explain most of the concept, most of the part of your concept to the students in a very engaging and very creative way. And also you are going to give them a lot of resources and your experience to them so that they would be able to understand in a better way. And if you have to measure the outcome of the students, what you can do is you can give them a lot of activities, offline activities like assignments or case studies, or even an assessment, online assessment with various other like just not the what to say optional questions or fill in the blanks questions. You can give them descriptive questions, because based on the descriptive questions they would be, their knowledge would be opened in a far better way, and you can understand more about your students. So that's where you can actually understand more about your knowledge retention. So knowledge retention is the major factor in any outcome based education. So with this knowledge retention you would be able to understand them in a better way. Any more questions?
So I guess it's a long silence. There is no much questions.
Yes.
Uh, so probably we can conclude. So Trilogusundram sir, shall we conclude the session?
Yes, sir. I would like to give the vote of thanks. Now, to
Please go ahead.
propose the formal vote, yeah. And to propose the formal vote of thanks, I first would like to extend my gratitude to the man of the show, Mr. Rajkumar Nataraj, for such a wonderful session. Thank you, sir, for giving us profitable inputs to enhance the performance of e-learning through instructional designs for the benefit of the audience. I would like to thank Zillion Cube's Learning Foundation for joining hands with MLR Institute of Technology for a productive cause and for all the sincere effort to attain the objectives of this event. I now extend my thanks to the management of MLR Institute of Technology for approving to conduct this webinar. I also would like to thank the head of the Department of Business Administration, Dr. M.V. Narasimha Rao, for his continuous motivation and guidance in the success of this webinar. I thank Dr. Sundaram sir for his untiring efforts and all those who have extended technical support. Last but not the least, I thank each and every participant for their interest and involvement in today's session. Thank you one and all for making today's webinar a success. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Thanks a lot. The special mention to Mr. Tirlogasundaram sir, because he has taken an immense effort in organizing this event, and also the department head of business administration, Mr. Narasimha Rao sir, for giving us such a wonderful opportunity. And thank you, ma'am, for your grand vote of thanks. And we all are very happy to be part of this particular program and the 4 days online session. So thanks a lot. We would meet you all in a grand upcoming sessions in future. Yeah, thank you. And
Yes.
please stay with us for new updates, and we can do much more programs in the future as well. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Bye bye. Thank you all for being part of this today's session. And I welcome you all to share your feedback through the link which is displayed here. You can also scan the QR code and then go to the link directly. And also the link is shared on the chat box and description box in the YouTube video. Thank you all. See you on another session. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.